Hello, my name is James Hargis, and today I just want to share with you a little bit of information. For the last 20 years, I've had the privilege of working for the same family-owned HVAC company. A lot of people have heard that term, HVAC, but they have no idea what it stands for. HVAC stands for heating, venting, and air conditioning. I have worked in the field with installation and service for the last 20 years, and I am under the assumption if you don't know how something works, then you won't know how to properly maintain it. We all know that it's the engine oil in our car keeps the engine lubricated, so we know it's important to change it. But if we don't know how our heat and air system works, then we will feel no need to keep it maintained like it should be. The first thing I would really like to show you is a refrigeration cycle chart. Here we get to see how the Freon goes from the compressor, where it starts the cycle. And as that Freon is being compressed inside of your compressor, it is transformed into a high pressure gas. And then it goes to your condenser. Now your condenser is the coil outside your unit that you see, that you've always been told not to blow grass into. And we'll cover that reason why here in just a minute. But as it leaves the condenser, it circles around to your expansion valve. Your expansion valve is just a thermostat controlled valve that will restrict back the flow of Freon. And because that compressor is also putting out pressure, that means it's also sucking pressure. So at that expansion valve, that compressor is drawing so hard through a little bitty tiny hole that it makes the Freon go from a high pressure liquid to a low pressure liquid. Then it enters your evaporator. Your evaporator is another coil inside your unit that looks basically like the outside one that you see, but it is mounted inside the unit and that you never see unless you are having trouble with it. But as your fan from inside your unit that you feel blowing air out of your duct blows across that coil, that Freon changes to a low pressure gas and then goes back to the compressor. Now, why do I feel the need to tell you all that information? Because most of you are never going to get out there and try to take apart your unit. You're going to call someone like me when it's broke. The first thing I want to talk about is your condenser. Your condenser is that coil that's mounted outside the unit, and it is very important to keep that coil clean. Briefly, I want to show you a Freon pressure temperature chart. Someone a lot smarter than me has sat down and decided that for every pound of pressure your Freon is running, that is equal to a temperature. So, the designers of that unit have decided that that coil, the size of it, will move so much air and it will drop the temperature of that Freon X amount of degrees because of the size before it moves into that expansion valve. Well, when that coil gets stopped up full of grass and just outside debris, dust and the likes, that temperature will rise and be above what it's supposed to be, which cuts the capacity of what the Freon is able to do. As the Freon moves around to your evaporator, that's another point of service that is the most controllable end of the homeowner's end to maintain, and that is changing your filter. All of the air that your unit blows out through your vents has come from inside of your house through your filter. Today I've got two filters with me. One is just a standard fiberglass type, and the other one is what we call a pleated type of filter. A lot of people are under the assumption that the fiberglass filter is just a rock catcher or something of that nature, and then the pleated filter is just the phenomenal, catch-all everything. Well, in my 20 years of experience, I can tell you, it doesn't matter which type of filter you use, from the cheapest to the most expensive, as long as you keep it changed. I recommend to my customers that you change it every time you get your electric bill. And the reason why we want to do that is your air from inside your house passes through that filter, through what is known your return pipe that's hooked to your unit, and it circles through your unit and through that evaporator coil. That evaporator coil is a system of refrigeration pipes and aluminum fins that direct the air through that. Those fins range from anywhere from 19 to 22 or 23 fins per inch. So you can imagine how close knit they are smashed together. As dirt and household dust comes through your unit and circles in the airflow, in the summertime, that coil, because it is absorbing the heat from your house, will condensate. Condensate and household dust make a gooey mesh that will stay on that unit forever until you have it serviced. I have seen units that are 15 years old that have never had to have the evaporator cleaned in them because the customer religiously kept that filter changed. I have seen other customers where I have to clean their evaporator every couple of years because they refuse to keep their filter changed like they're supposed to. Another important reason to keep your filter changed is as particulars get caught in that filter, that is the air that you are breathing as it is recirculated through the house. So, another reason why you should keep that filter changed is back to our pressure temperature chart. You will notice at a certain pressure, the temperature drops to below freezing. That is the temperature of that coil. So, if you do not keep your filter changed, it restricts the amount of flow of air that is returning back to that unit, which allows the pressure, the temperature, to go down below freezing because you are not circulating enough air through the house to keep that above freezing. So, after it below freezing, the condensation that it's making begins to form ice, and before you know it, you have a hot house. And nobody wants a hot house on a hot day. So, it is very, very important to maintain your unit. It is important to change your filters. It's also important to have your coils checked and cleaned if necessary. But the main reason why you should keep those clean is not only the efficiency of the unit, but it also avoids breakdowns and ends up costing the homeowner more money when only thing they had to do personally was keep it maintained. Thank you for your time.